This video is brought to you by hoodbeast.com. Design your own custom hoodies. hoodbeast.com.
What's up, everybody? I'm Seth Fowler. It's a new year, and that of course means new sneakers, which means we're doing a January sit or sell. Thanks so much for tuning in today, guys. Make sure to give me a follow on Instagram and on Twitter at RealSethFowler if you haven't yet. But with all that being said, let's get into it. So moving forward into the new year, I felt like it was important to continue the Sit or Sell series because you guys seem to love it, which is great. If you guys aren't familiar with the series, it's pretty self-explanatory. Basically, I go over all the sneakers that are dropping in this month and let you guys know whether I think the shoes are gonna sit or whether I think they're gonna sell. Obviously, the Sit or Sell ratings are all based on my own opinions, so don't base your buying decisions off what I think. Make sure that the hard-earned money that you're spending on sneakers is for shoes that you actually want and not shoes that you're like peer pressured into buying. I hate that I have to say that, but that's kind of the nature of the sneaker game, so it is what it is. But moving right along, coming out of the holiday season, January is definitely a little bit slower than December was, but there's still some pretty decent shoes dropping. Starting things off on January 1st, we've got the Nike Air More Money Japanese Yen. This shoe is a variant of the Air More Uptempo and it comes in sort of like a tannish and black colorway. I honestly don't know much about this shoe. I do know that it's going to be an Asia only exclusive, so if you're trying to grab this in the US, you might have a little bit of a hard time. But based on the overall aesthetic of the shoe, the colorway, and the fact that I've really never heard of it, I'm gonna have to give it a sit. Next up on January 1st is the Adidas Ultra Boost 4.0 Triple Black. The Ultra Boost 4.0 is a really excellent sneaker, and the Triple Black colorway is by far one of the best. You can never really go wrong with an all black shoe. It pretty much goes with whatever you want to wear. And as you guys all know, the Ultra Boost is one of the most comfortable shoes on the market, so for me, it's a definite cop. But as with all the other Triple Black Ultra Boosts that have dropped, I am sure this shoe is gonna sell out. Next up, on January 4th, we've got the Zoom Fly SP in the neutral indigo colorway. I've never actually had the chance to try out a Nike Zoom Fly SP. I think it's a pretty nice looking sneaker, honestly. This colorway though, I'm not really a huge fan of. I don't love the purple with like that light gray with the orange. I think it's a little bit too much for me. It's not a bad looking sneaker, and I think the reason I don't like it is just personal preference. However, recently, as we've seen with the other Zoom Fly SPs that have dropped, I think this shoe is gonna sit. Next up is a kind of funky and weird looking shoe. It's the Nike Vapor Max Utility in the triple black colorway. Now I know I just said with the Ultra Boost triple black, the triple black shoes usually do pretty well, but this shoe is not really the best looking sneaker I've ever seen. I'm not sure why they'd make a utility version of the Vapor Max. It doesn't really make sense to me. And it's priced at $225, which is pretty pricey, let's be honest. Because of the funky aesthetic, the price point, and the fact that I don't think there's any hype behind it at all, I think the shoe is probably gonna sit. Continuing on with January 4th, we've got two Adidas N Mdr R1 STLTs dropping. The first is the white and gray colorway, and the second is the black and gray colorway. I'm not a huge fan of the STLTs. I think they look a little weird. It's almost like a zebra version of the N Mdr R1, and I think it's just kind of a weird look for the shoe. Also, the STLT isn't a collab or any kind of a special NMD, and recently NMDs have kind of been sitting unless they're a crazy limited shoe, so for that reason, I think both colorways, the white and the black, are gonna sit. Moving on to January 6th, the first shoe dropping is the Nike Kyrie 4 in the Obsidian colorway. This shoe is going to come in a full family size run, so if you're looking for a pair of Kyrie 4s and you like the Obsidian colorway, this is definitely the way to go. You can lace up your kids, your wife, your husband, whatever, your small-footed friend, I don't know, you can pretty much hook up the whole family. The shoe has a dark navy upper with sort of a light blue and green outsole. I mean, overall, it's definitely a nice looking colorway, but to me, it's kind of boring. The shoe retails for $120, and even though I've heard good things about it on and off the court, I think it's going to sit. Continuing on with January 6th, we've got the Nike Air Force 1 Foamposite dropping. This shoe comes in the light carbon black colorway, which is sort of like an iridescent blue. I mean, it's an Air Force 1 with the Foamposite upper. Neither of those shoes are really doing that well, and I don't think this shoe is going to do well either, so I think it's going to sit. Next up, we've got the Nike Air Max 97 in the metallic hematite colorway. Continuing on with the revival of the Air Max 97, this shoe almost looks like a triple black 97, but it's got a couple accents to kind of break up the blacks. I mean, overall, it's a nice looking shoe and it's priced at $160, which is reasonable. Because Nike is bringing back the 97s and because people are really on that 97 train right now, I do think it'll do well, but I don't think it's going to sell out. Next up, we've got the Nike Kobe AD Mid in the Mighty IT colorway. This is actually a really clean Kobe AD colorway. You've got a maroon upper with a mini Nike swoosh in yellow and then a semi-translucent outsole that fades from blue, I think, into red. I mean, genuinely, this is a nice looking shoe, but unless it's crazy limited, I think it's gonna sit. Next up, on January 10th, we've got an Air Jordan 1 dropping. This shoe comes in a tumbled leather black upper with a gold outline swoosh and gold wings. Originally, the shoe was thought to be an all-star colorway, but it's a little bit early, so I'm not exactly sure what this shoe is going to be called. If you guys know, make sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below. It's definitely a clean-looking sneaker, but let's be honest, it's an all-black Air Jordan 1, and I think it's kind of dull. But hey, since we don't really know the story behind it, it could be crazy limited. I don't know. Kind of doubt it though, so I think the shoe is going to sit. Moving on to January 11th, we've got a couple more of those Nike Air More Moneys dropping. The first colorway to drop is the US dollar, which is obviously colored sort of like a US dollar with a dark green upper and a black midsole. You've also got a French Euro colorway that comes in blue with white and yellow accents. And then rounding out the group, you've got the British Pound colorway, which sort of has a cream upper with black accents. Based on what we saw with the Japanese yen colorway, I'm assuming these are only dropping in the regions that money applies to. That's about all I can assume, and they definitely don't look bad, but to me they're not really anything special, and I think they're probably gonna sit. Moving on to January 13th, we've got two Air Max 97s dropping. The first is the Desert White Metallic Red and Bronze Black colorway. I can't really find a picture of this shoe, so you're just gonna have to imagine what this colorway looks like. And the second is a Nike Air Max 97 in the Obsidian colorway. Like I said before, the 97 is a good looking sneaker, the Obsidian colorway looks nice, and I can assume that the other colorway probably looks nice too, but I really don't think either shoe is gonna sell out. Moving over to the Air Jordan side of things, we've got an Air Jordan 32 dropping. This 32 is coming in sort of a Black Cement 3 colorway. It's got this really nice black and white static Flyknit upper, which I think looks awesome. You've got black detailing on the wings and heel tab. The back of the tongue is red, and of course the wings logo is red and black. This honestly might be my favorite colorway of the 32. I think it looks amazing. I probably won't be picking up a pair because I have a couple 32s as it is, but I do think it's a really nice looking shoe. I think quantity is really what's going to determine whether this shoe sells out or not. I think the key determining factor is people knowing what the quantity is beforehand, but most likely, even though it's a super clean colorway, newer Jordans don't seem to sell out, so I think it's probably gonna sit. And rounding out January 13th, we've got the Air Jordan 1 Flyknit in the Shadow colorway. The Flyknit Air Jordan 1s are super comfortable, and I actually don't think they look bad. However, serious OG heads never liked them, and the trend really never caught on, and although they're gonna continue releasing these, I just don't think any of them are gonna sell out. I do have to say though, if you've seen the Black History Month Flyknit Air Jordan 1, I think it looks great, and I think if any Flyknit Air Jordan 1 is going to sell out, that could be the one. Moving on to January 15th, we've got two Black History Month sneakers. The first is the Kyrie 4 in the BHM colorway. It looks like the shoe is primarily going to be off-white or gray with a couple navy and red accents. You've got what looks like handwritten or scribbled text all over the upper of the shoe that says equality, and honestly, I actually think it's a pretty clean looking Kyrie 4. Not only that, but just about all the other Kyrie BHMs have sold out in the past, and I think this one might do the same thing. Also dropping on the 15th, we've got the LeBron 15 BHM. Unfortunately, I don't have a picture of the LeBron 15 BHM right now, so I have no idea what it's going to look like. All I know is that the shoe is listed as being multicolor. I mean, I could have assumed that there was going to be multiple colors on it, but whatever. In the past, I don't think every BHM LeBron is sold out, but because of the brand new LeBron 15 and the way it looks, and the things that they can do with the Flyknit, I think there's a good chance if it looks good, it'll sell. Moving on to January 18th, we've got a bunch of Nike HyperAdapt 1.0 JPs dropping. Unfortunately, it's the same shoe that dropped in the past, and it's still priced at $720, but hey, you get a bunch of different colorways. There's a couple digital camo or pixelated colorways dropping. You've got like a red and yellow, and then a green and orange. Then there's also a black and red and a white and black colorway that kind of looks like what the Roshi 2 looks like, with that sort of ridged or ribbed look. I'm not really a fan of any of those colorways. I think they're all just a little bit too much. Also, I mean, let's be honest, who do you know that's actually bought a pair of HyperAdapts for $720 retail? That's crazy. Okay, I knew a couple resellers that bought them, but the shoes didn't sell, so they returned them or they sold them for under retail. Based on what we've seen in the past, I think the hype has finally died down in these shoes, and I think the price point makes them a lot less appealing, so I think these shoes are probably gonna sit. Oh shit. The LeBrons just dropped. So the Kith LeBron 15s just dropped, and I'm trying to grab them. It's like 12 o'clock Friday night, or I guess Saturday morning, but that's why I'm doing that. I really hope I can grab these. They're fire. Let me try and grab them on my phone too, actually. This is the worst. Boom, baby. Got them. Got them. That's, actually, I'm stoked on that. That's sick. These guys, if you guys were wondering, I'm stoked. Well, review on those coming soon. Now back to the video. Moving on to January 20th, we've got the Nike Foamposite 1 PRM Abalone. This Foamposite is dressed in a fully iridescent upper, and honestly, I think it does look pretty nice. It's got a grayish, bluish, purplish upper with black accents and retails for $230. I think it's a great looking shoe, but once we saw Foamposites like the Dr. Dooms dropping and them just sitting, I think these don't have a chance. I think these are gonna sit. On the Jordan side of things, we've got the Jordan 13s in the olive colorway dropping. This is a really clean, classic look on the Air Jordan 13, and you can't really go wrong with this colorway. It's primarily black with olive touches, and it's super wearable. This one's kind of a toss-up for me because, like we've seen in the past, a lot of Air Jordans haven't sold out, but recently Nike came out and said that they'd be limiting a lot more of their sneakers, so it could be tougher to get, but I've got to be honest, most likely I think these guys are going to sit. On the 25th, we've got two Nike Air Huarache Drifts dropping. This is sort of an updated, more sleek version of the Nike Huarache, and we've got it in two different colorways. The first is the black Rush Violet and Rush Orange colorway. It's a pretty okay sneaker, but the colorway is definitely not my thing. In this particular colorway, I think the shoe is gonna sit. And then on the same day, we've got another colorway dropping, which is sort of a light blue-gray colorway. Again, not a bad-looking sneaker, but I'm not in love with this colorway, and I think the shoe is probably gonna sit. On January 27th, we've got a brand new Adidas model dropping, and that's the Adidas Crazy Boost You Wear Level 1. This is a funky looking shoe. I'm not in love with it, but it's so crazy looking, I might have to grab it. I hate that I do that. It's definitely because I'm a sneaker reviewer that I just have to buy every shoe that I think looks weird. I believe the shoe is meant to be a performance basketball shoe, but this particular iteration of it looks a little bit too weak to actually be played in. It looks like an all prime knit or mesh upper that doesn't look like it has too much structure, so I'm not sure if this is a lifestyle version or a basketball version, but man, the boost on that thing is thick. This is another shoe that I think if it's crazy limited, it'll sell out, but most likely it'll probably do well, but I think it's probably gonna sit. Finally, rounding out the month, on January 28th, we've got the Kendrick Lamar and Nike Cortez collaboration. This is a pretty clean Nike Cortez themed after Kendrick Lamar's latest album, and I've got to say, it's a pretty good looking shoe. I don't have any pairs of Nike Cortezes at the moment, and this might actually be the one that I pick up. Because it's a collab with Kendrick Lamar and it's definitely going to be limited, I think the shoe is going to sell out. Before I finish off the list, I just want to say there's a lot of other shoes that are rumored to drop this month. I'm not going to go over them because usually if they're rumored for January, they either drop later in the year or just don't drop at all. Also, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of other great releases that are going to happen that are going to be quick strikes or just haven't been announced yet, but I'm doing what I can with the information I have at the beginning of the month. That pretty much wraps it up for the list today, guys. Make sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below letting me know which sneakers you're looking forward to most. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to me, Seth Fowler, if you want to see more content just like this, and follow me in all other forms of social media. The links will be in the description below.